Hello, everyone.
Hello out
Hello,
there.
hello, hello, hello.
We're back again.
We're back again. And if you're new here, we are the Sawyers, and this is Cornerstone Life Center's virtual live stream sessions. And heart to heart, we all talk from heart to heart. And so we're glad you're with us tonight. Let's see who's here. Let's see if I'm gonna see who came in voiced today. There it is, Brother Dixon. Hey, Brother James.
Hey,
I've got something in my eye.
Sister Linda.
Ugh. Let's see,
Howdy.
brother and sister-in-law, and sister and brother-in-law,
Brother and sister-in-law.
brother and
Yeah,
sister-in-law,
she your sister-in-law.
sister and brother-in-law, and Linda Langdon. Howdy to
Linda
you too,
Langdon.
sweetie. And there's Pastor Norman.
Cousin Norman.
Vern's here. Hey,
Pastor
Vern.
Vern. Vern, I got to talk to you, girl.
And John Greason's in the house. And there's Kelly, and there's Brother Kessler.
Kessler J. Edward.
Yeah, and Jill just came in.
Miss,
I'm glad you guys are here tonight.
Miss Kelly Lee.
Mm-hmm. Hope you've had a good day. We've had a pretty good day today.
Yeah.
Pastor had his shot on his hip yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know if you can hear us and see us clearly too, because we, always forget that. Dee Dee just came in. Dee Dee and George. Hey,
George
y'all.
George and the George Jenkins.
I got something in my eye.
Yeah, I've been seeing it for about 50 years.
An eyeball.
There's something in there.
Yeah, it's still in there too. And there comes
Well, you
Oliver.
ought to see with them glasses on when she get upset. The eyeball touch the glasses.
Oliver
J. Edward.
Hello, Oliver. You didn't call me today, did you, Oliver?
Everything is clear, she said.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Did you call me today,
Deborah
Oliver?
Lee. Huh? I don't know.
I'm trying to find out if Oliver
Go
called
ahead.
me.
Go.
Yeah, we're both talking at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's good to have you here, Ollie. And look, I've been getting all these wonderful notices from you guys from Patreon on Oliver and Yolanda's Patreon. They've been, I joined their Patreon group. Oh, yeah. And I get all these wonderful things all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to have to show me how to do that, by the way. We'll have to have a day, Oliver, with you. And anyway, let's see. Hey, there's Deb. Hey, Deb.
That's Miss Deb. Mm-hmm.
And Kelly, thank you for telling us everything's clear. Pastor Norman said everything's clear. All right. And there's Pat. Hey, Pat. Okay. Well, let's see what we're going to do.
What you want to talk about today to you guys?
Yeah. What do you guys want to talk about?
Hey, what you want to talk about, we can't talk about. We just say we can't talk about it.
Well, in the meantime, let's do our affirmation. How about that?
Appetizer.
Let's do our affirmation. I think I need some better glasses or something. Let's see. Let's center in. Like I always say and always tell you to put everything aside, all your concerns, anything that you may have been preoccupied with. And if you're busy, if you can stop for a moment, it would be great if you could do that. And if you could turn your phones, so nobody can come in while we're doing this and disturb you. Fix your phones, rather. And leave everything outside and just sit it outside for a moment. You don't need anything right now except just your pure emptiness and attention. That's all you need. And I want you to either you can repeat this after me or you can simply listen, whichever is best for you. But this will bring our minds home. And I think that's the main thing. It'll bring our minds home. All right. I am a portal of consciousness, streaming down through the crown chakra into this form.
Yes.
I am a continuous stream, never static. a download from higher dimensions. This is what I am. I am a light stream blowing through this mortal flesh, an immortal essence, life, being. As I flow into this body, I am experienced as an individual through writings or sayings, laughter, facial expressions, thoughts and feelings. Yet there is no person here that possesses these qualities. For I am purely a stream of unconditioned consciousness. There is, in fact, no person here to attract or to project. Just a stream, a flow of pure light and awareness. I am the one who looks for another and finds itself. I, as this stream of unconditioned consciousness, am the carrier of revelations and insights. This is a clear indicator of what I truly am. I stream through this mind and body until such time as this mind and body no longer functions. I appear to others as conditioned awareness, leaving the impression of a person that others think I am. That which is left after this body dies will be evidence that this portal was once open. And I flowed into this earth existence. Premeditation and thinking only serve to veil my essence. I, as the flow, never cease. And I am often thought to be solid matter. Others looking on may think that everything originates from me as a person. But there is no person here to claim what comes forth as the stream. The stream is pure and gentle and free and clear. I am pure, gentle, free, and clear. It has no shape, but it can appear to take shape. I have no shape, but I appear as a shape. What I truly am is veiled by my own appearing. This unconditioned consciousness is the only reality. And this unconditioned consciousness is what I am. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is. I like that. I like it. I like that. Well, let's see who else came in. Sadie came in. Hey, Sadie. And hey,
Yeah.
Sharon.
Hey, Sharon.
And Tippy Toe.
Mm-hmm.
And Kelly said she liked to talk about soul groups.
That what?
Soul groups.
Oh.
That's an interesting subject.
Okay. In my personal experience, I've never read this in the Bible. If it is there, fine. If it is not, there's a place. This is the mystical side of us. I've always asked the question, Miss Kelly, if a person is blind, he cannot see to read the scriptures, but he can read with braille, with his feelings. But if he doesn't have any feeling or hands, how would he find the word? You might say he has ears. What if he's deaf and cannot hear? Well, he can always walk to somebody and they could, but if all these parts are not functioning, even his legs on it, what could he do? Now, I was presented with this years ago, and in this, it's like the prodigal son that left his father and went out with harlots and did his thing. And the father recognized when he come back that even though he was going one way, he never left home.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, or us guys, are going to find out, with or without reading, with or without church, with or without agreement, the most hideous, evil being that you could think of a person could be on death row, suicide, you name it. Get drastic with it if you want to. I know this Jesus that I gave up, and I know this Jesus that I found out about as being us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I heard some of our African friends talk about homosexual and stuff like that. No, I don't go for it, but I do understand that God is not angry at them. And if you could research into the fullness of God's heart, there may be, and there will be, Al Capone and all them boys and murders and rapists and all that. From our perspective, without seeing the pure, straight through, tied down on both sides, working it in the middle, God, there is an array of his mercy, the mercy that he is toward every last one of them. Read the prodigal son. His brothers got upset with the father because he has never offered them what he offered his son who was lost, and yet he came home. He didn't treat that boy any different because he came. I don't care if the grace that they use is greasy. I'm saying something now that I saw, and this thing will break down what I'm saying will break down every aspect of resistance. It's not no the suffering you go through when you lose a loved one, but the redemption of God. In Galatians 2:20, I am crucified with Christ. Walk to the backside of the cross because you're getting ready to see everything on the backside that could not be seen on the front side that is not acceptable by Christians. There is a book, a word, and a page in the Bible that was left out. And if it is there, you will see it now or later. There's a front door and a back door to hell. And God, you can say, but that ain't in the word. That's right. It may not be found there, but you got to go inside of the tangible heart of God. I've seen this. Everything that we reject and say based on the word of God is going to hell. But God is going to empty hell out. Now, we may come here and to each other be each other's heaven or hell. I have experienced the unlimited grace of God, and I cannot explain it to you. All these missing parts on people that cannot read, cannot write. I've seen some people didn't have their legs are cut off, they had them but the trunk. I've seen certain ones of them that have had part of their skull missing. I've seen the worst cases that even human temperament could not stand to see. You've got to go this way, because if you want to know God and his pure all the way, no holdback grace of God, you are getting ready to see. Maybe not now. I can tell you like this. Everybody that's in a body on this earth, when the time comes, you're going to leave these bodies. And you're going to find out that what is truth over here is truth over there. And that is eternal self. We are made out of heaven. Get out of your five senses for once and for all. I know there's some brick and mortar people that cannot. We go to church just to get a feeling. We go to church because we are religious. We go to church and we get around gatherings. God is not angry at these people. When I first started out as a young man in the prophetic and seeing and the evangelical, I would tell anybody God gonna kill them and don't murder them, gonna rip them up and tear them apart, and they're going to hell and they'll never make it in. But I had to stop that. I had to stop it. Now, this is my personal experience now. And for you to be able to go in the side with it, you'll have to have your own personal experience. I'm just telling you what I know from my own personal encounter with Jesus Christ. And I found out that the one that they were teaching me about in the brick and mortar was nothing like the compassionate one that I saw outside of those walls. Most of us can apply Bible if we go Bible and book in any other author of any book. But in the end, God is the finisher and the starter of all things, even though there's no beginning and end. I can stay on this thing and talk about it, Miss Kelly. It is so absolutely breathtaking. It doesn't give you a license to do anything you want to do, because you have to deal with that either over here or over there. Mm-hmm. But I'm talking about when the rubber meets the road. I was going in the store. I don't know where you saw this lady talking to me on the outside the store. You was in the Jeep. You couldn't see me.
I didn't.
I went to the store today to get something, and I realized that there was a Jesus person standing outside the door, a lady. Now, I walked up. She said to me, "Can you give me $20? That I'm trying to get to this place." And I've had it happen many times. I'm trying to get to this place and that place. And I said, "Well, what is $20 going to do to help you catch a bus and get back to college and all that stuff?" And I've run across this all the time. And I asked the Lord, I said, "Would you show me yourself? I want to see you. No limitations." I said, "If I give you $20, how are you going to eat?" She said, "I got something in the bag." Now, and then when I come out, she wasn't there. And I said, "Why would she pick me to ask for $20? And all these other, excuse my French, and all that other stuff, the light-skinned people coming in there, she didn't ask none of them, or I didn't see her ask them. They was passing her like flies, going past, but she stopped me." Now, I've often told ones that have done me like that over the years, I said, "Why don't you let me go buy you something to eat? Or I'll take you in and buy you something, a hamburger, whatever it is, and feed you." And she wanted the $20. I looked at her. But I had to suspend the horrendous lie that she could have been saying. If she had asked me, I said to her, I said, I'm gonna come out here one day and I'm gonna ask you I ain't gonna ask you for $20, I'm gonna ask you for $100. I'm gonna ask you for $500. I'm gonna ask you an unlimited amount. Can you give it to me? Jesus said, if you're done to the least of them, you're done to him. Now, what she do with it? She could went on down the road somewhere and told her friend she just got a deal on a guy. She just pulled a trick on him. I don't look at it like that. I could have told her easily no, and I have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us feel guilty by conscience that if we don't do it, should I or should I not do it? You're going to come to a place of the forks in the road where every one of you going to have that to say. I hope that you can see Jesus in everything that happens to you, and that's what we're pointing you to. There will be times when you will be out and people will come up to you that can't walk, and you'll be sitting in your car. Can you help them? And then sometimes you go to help them, and they'll resist you. I've been sitting in K&W eating. I look across the table, and I see somebody over there. They look well. They got plenty of money. There ain't nothing wrong with them. I'll go past the table and grab their receipt, and I say to them, I think I want to pay for this for you as a gift. Oh, no. I can do it myself. I said, what if I say I want to give you an early Christmas present?
Yeah.
I'm going to find a way to get past that. I don't know why I say hemoglobin. I'm going to find a way to get past that bad blood in their vein of pride, and they don't want to look like they poor. But I change it around, and I say, I want to do this for you just before Christmas comes as a special appreciation. I don't know these people. They could be taking my could just rob the bank.
Yeah.
Please open up your heart. Open up your heart. Saturday, we had one of the most amazing cornerstone classes here in my house, and Laverne, husband passing, created this. It's amazing how we can leave our bodies in eulogies and do more to help people than when we were here in the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your life, Laverne, speaks beyond walls, and it speaks beyond crisis. It speaks beyond tears. The tears that you've shed is speaking. Your husband been in the house with you all day today, in and out, and he still is going to make you know and contact you somehow or another, and which he's probably already had, that he's with you and he can do some things to help you.
Yeah.
But I do things like that because I know. I think sometimes I say, well, I may need some money. And you guys, you're a good example of that yourself. Some of you people have sent money to us, and you don't know no more about us than what you hear. Then somebody said, well, I can discern it. That's not important. But you've done it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to $2,000 coming in the mail some kind of way. But I don't stop and shut down all my giving just because I'm waiting for something to show up before I give. If I got it, if I can help you, fine. But one thing I deal with more than anything is a liar, promises. I had to do that all the way through my childhood, but I forgive myself, forgive the ones who made me feel like they were liars. But hey, this Assembly of God, Miss Kelly, and the rest of you, these souls, they are put here as the part of the puzzle to be put together by our love and our classmates. We go to school and we go to different sections in the assembly room in high school, and we sit in a group, and the teacher will come out with a list of names that are supposed to be on her docket or in her class.
Mm-hmm.
That's similar to what we were before we came. When I went to the doctor's office yesterday, I mean, not the office, but to get this shot for my hip and all that stuff, that was real nice. They told me to lay on the table on my back, and pull my pants down to the side where they can get to the left hip. He told me, said it would be just a little pinch, and then he put a couple of shots of numbing medicine in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I laid there, and I was bracing myself like, oh, pain. I done been through this so many times. But it didn't hurt like I thought it would. He was very nice, black guy, and a white lady there. She was real nice. I got up, and he said, you're fine. They helped me up off of the bed. And I started to walk out, and I stopped right there in front of him. I said, can I tell you something, sir? I said, I went to a place on the other side in a near-death like experience. I said, I saw the school and the colleges where you took your training to become the physician that you are. And he stopped and listened. He smiled and he said, well, something like that. It wasn't a sarcastic thing. It's like he was. It's like it almost a part of him that could hear me. And I'm talking to God inside this man. I don't know whether he verbally accepted Jesus. I don't know whether he verbally showed that he had the Spirit of God, like we always pronounce on people. But I saw Jesus at that doctor. He was elated to hear what I said, and I wanted to say some more to him, but I let it go. When I got out there in the front, there was a Hispanic man standing up there, and he had to have the same shot. And the lady in the counter, the attendant, was trying to talk to him about what it was like to go back there. And he was a little hesitant, and the lady was trying to understand his dialect of word. And I helped her. I said to him, I said, sir, I said, it's okay. I said, you wonder about, is it going to hurt? I said, it's fine. I said, I just left him back there. And I said, you'll be fine, and you'll understand that it's not as drastic as it seemed like to your mind. I was sent there in the calling of life, not the calling as a preacher, pastor, evangelist, and all that stuff, as the life of God to humanity. Excuse me. This mouth keeps flapping until it get dry. But I want you guys to hear this, because Sister Sharon, Miss Elsie, your mama is still the prettiest lady. She is glowing with light, and I can see her standing, and I can see her listening to everything we're talking about. Any of you that ever lost a loved one, even before you were born, this thing is a grand finale. So when we got home, when we were home Saturday, I looked up, and here come Vincent, and here come Norman and his wife, Pastor Armstrong.
Mm-hmm. And you've been kind of feasting on that since
I
Saturday.
have. Yes, I have to, because I want to be able.
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
About the group that came over. They were people that we have been very close to in our lifetime of church.
Excuse me, please.
And so to see them, and we hadn't seen some of them in years. They prayed with Pastor and myself before they left.
And some of them we've had encounters with them that I didn't think I'd ever see them again.
Right, but they prayed with us. But I was reminded of something that my sister and I talked about a few days ago. She said, they always say this. There's an old saying that says prayer changes things.
Uh-huh.
But if it was prayer itself that changed things,
Lord, what you talking
then
about?
Everything would be changed, because we're all praying for the changes. But there must be something else. When they did pray for you, of course, I believe that prayer had a certain level of power in it. Mm-hmm. But where the power really came from was the unity. It didn't come from a word spoken to God on your behalf. It didn't come from a request or a petition made to God on your behalf. Mm-hmm. It came from the unity of them coming together with the like mind and having the same focus. Mm-hmm. And that is what changes things. Mm-hmm. It is not prayer itself as a tool that changes everything. But when we come together in unity, there is no stronger power on earth.
What you talking about?
To do that, love has to be present.
The truth of unity in this room, it touched my heart. Pastor Norman, I hope Vincent Crenshaw, somehow or another, is listening to us.
And I think what we all are longing for is that unity.
Yeah.
In every relationship that we have, this is what we really, really long for, because it's the closest thing to our godness. It's the closest thing to home, where we came from,
we all came from each other
as a thought or in the mind of God. It's where we projected from, and so it's what we long for, and we look for it in all kinds of ways. I think I look take my brother for example. The one before he passed,
Excuse me.
he had friends that he drank with and got high with, but it wasn't the drinking and the getting high that he was really longing for. It was the getting together. He always said, "I don't like to drink by myself." So it wasn't that he just wanted to get high. He just wanted, no, he wanted that sense of unity. And so sometimes that is, most times, that's what's driving us. Even people who have addictions, it's usually because they're longing for that unity.
Yeah. And you know, that is a landmark. And I saw
Mhm.
that I could have the same class here every Sunday or every so often. All I have to do is spread the word. But Miss Trina and all of them, they got pictures they took of them at the eulogy, Miss Vern. And she
Yeah.
said she had a surprise for us when she came.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't seen her in a while. And we saw Latoya and her husband,
Latanya.
Latanya, from California, who was here before left, going to California. They come back, and we saw them in person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Jesus Christ appeared to us in the flesh to everybody in that kitchen. And that
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
packed to the crack.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That is the power of God. We had a grand finale time
And Jill,
being together.
yes, and Jill just said it. She said it. It's the sense of belonging
Yes.
that's important for most people. It has to be. And Pastor Norman says that unity is a manifestation of love, and it is.
I had to tighten up on my socks because y'all blessed my socks.
Pastor Norman, in his session on Sunday, he did before he went back home to South Carolina. He did it in the hotel room, and it was kind of a part two of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
And he made a quote, and I hope I can quote it right, but he said, "When you love, you give yourself. You give yourself." And for those who came over that night, for them to come over just to see you or for you to see them, it was them giving themselves. And so that is where the healing and the all of that comes from. It is not just prayer itself. And I agree so much with my sister on that. She said it can't be that just prayer changes things, because everybody's praying and it's not changing everything. So yeah, I think it's the
I
unity.
think I had a bucket full of tears. I was so glad to see him. And I hope you guys spread the word to Mrs. Trina and some of the rest of them that may not be online with us. But make sure that you tell them about this session that we have. They really made things what it was supposed to be. And I didn't cars are parked all around the house here.
Yeah.
And I guess some of our neighbors might have been wanting to find out what happened over there. But well, we was having a grand finale.
Yeah. Now Linda mentions this, and I'm kind of on the same vein with her. Makes you wonder the origin of the word belonging.
Yeah. Yeah.
But see, I know this now, Linda, and I know you do too. Then I say this because I really saw this, not conceptually, but I really saw how this is true, that we are really connected to one another, and we are the same. We are the same. I am you, you are me. Everything that I do affects you, and everything you do affects me, because we are altered by each other's presence. We are altered by, and that's what I was saying on Sunday, having gone to Johnny's homegoing, that I saw through so many people how he just being Johnny, altered a lot of lives.
Very special. Some of us
even some he didn't know.
That's right. That's right.
Some he didn't
so he
even
didn't
know.
Even meet. A lot of them he didn't even meet.
And so there is nothing that you do. And it was said, it's very well said when it says no man is an island.
That's right.
Everything you do affects someone else. And we are altered by one
That's
another.
right.
That's a good thing.
We are all God's eternal self.
Yeah.
And when we leave this body, whether you believe in him or not, accept him or not, each one of us will leave these suits, these meat suits, and you'll find out. I want you to find this out before your body
We
shuts
should
down.
find out before.
And that
Yes,
unity that we
yes,
had,
yes.
we are affirming and believing that Vincent will have a quick transplant for his situation and condition. That the Lord is keeping him alive for a very special reason. And he hasn't got a transplant yet, but it's been a while. And it seems like everybody's got but him. But he is all of you, you are a direct revelation of Christ as the eternal physical self. And you can believe in the Bible or not.
Yes.
You can believe in any book or not. But seeing this with your own insight, awareness of your true self, I want to hear the fullness of God coming from anywhere, anybody, without any reservation or prejudice at all. I want to hear it because every one of us, as a piece of the puzzle, will fit on the table.
I want to let me just do this. My poem. I've done it before, but I want to do it again because I realize now that the poem that I wrote came from this knowing that we're talking about of us being one and that unity. It came from that place of unity, and it came as I witnessed the unity, because this poem was written when we had gone to the near-death chapter in Raleigh or Durham.
Yeah.
And in that room, there was such a unity.
It was.
There was such a camaraderie. There was such a sense of belonging. Not so much that all these people agree with me. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
It was a real I am them and they are me. And there was no judgment in the room. Absolutely no judgment at all. Not even
none at all.
Not even a I and a them.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that in the room. And so absolute unity doesn't point to the other as another.
That's right.
So anyway, this poem came out of it, and I've said it before. It's called The Gentle Folk. And it goes like this. There is a place where no one is seen as a stranger, where no one is ever faced with danger. A place that is gentle, kind, and light, where nothing would ever trigger a fight.
Yes.
A place that is boundaryless and wide, where we walk with angels side by side. A place of smiles and happy tears, where all hearts are open and there are no more fears. A place where love is seen on every face and arms are open wide to embrace. A place where everyone measures the same, where you're truly known, yet no one even knows your name. A place where mysteries are explored, where truth is accepted and never ignored. A place where those of old age are wide-eyed and still learning, where time seems to rewind and to youth we are returning. There is a place where we all fit and we all belong. It's right in the midst of the gentle folk that you make yourself at home. It's home. The unity is home.
Sister Sharon, I remember the day when I was in the grocery store. I went to get some apples and a few little ins and outs. And I stood by the vegetable section. And I remember talking to Miss Essie, and I said to her, I had the most trouble trying to get them plastic bags open.
And she gave you some wisdom.
And she gave me some, she said, reach over there and touch the water with the celery and the collard green, get your finger wet, then come back, and it happened just like that. I did that twice today. Do you know?
Yeah.
When that came to me, Miss Essie was standing right there next to me. And she was talking again. She said, wet your finger. So I went all around and I tried to get it open without that. And Miss Essie said, go back over there and do what I showed you.
And she altered our lives.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
She's altered
And I
our
went back
lives.
and that both bags opened up. I said, "Thank you, Miss Essie. Thank you. I bear in my heart the affection of Jesus Christ. I bear about in my body the marks of Jesus Christ. The love of God is scattered abroad in every last one of us, touching the eons of the earth
Yes, it is.
and the eons of eternity."
And you all are forever altering our lives as we are yours.
Yeah. And you and I and some others around you, just hold your horses now. They are going to see the same thing that we're talking about tonight, but it may not be when you want them to.
Sharon says she remembers that.
Yeah, yeah. What's that? What's that?
She said, I remember.
Yes. And I carry that. I carry her and you, Sister Sharon, in my heart. A lot of times I don't call people and talk to them about this because I mess up on the telephone, be done drowning the phone in tears.
Yes, you will.
And I feel the sensing of the love that you and your family and the acceptance of the Sister Harvey and Brother Harvey, your family, and the ones that were out there in Piney Grove, all of them. You are some of the most wonderful, amazing gifts of God that have been such a blessing. The word blessing ain't enough, I want to say. Over the 20, 30 years that you and your mother was with us, it is amazing.
Well,
I have good memories about you.
We have good memories about a lot of them.
Yeah.
Even Pastor Norman and his wife and his son were here, and it was so good to see them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It was so good to see
But
them.
we will find out that God is all of our knowing. God is our knowing, and He's our infinite knowing. He's our infinite self. And by that, whether you can understand the scriptures or not, let's go to the common good that is everybody, the common ground. If we would stop now and say, we're going to talk to you Sunday morning, this that we're talking about now is the key to the heart of God.
We should be, and thank you, Linda. She said we put an eternal dent in her. Thank you, sweetheart. You have in us as well. We look for you. We do look for you on these live streams. And, I was thinking about the fact that when we come together, the thought of having to even if you separate it for reasons because of disagreements.
Yes.
We should be able to love through the disagreements.
Yes.
And put the disagreements aside, even because we may never agree on some things. But love covers a multitude of disagreements.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you can let the disagreement go and not bring it into the relationship and not hold a grudge.
You're breathing in and out, inhale and exhale. You get to the end of a self and you turn around and come back in your body through breath. You and everybody that's listening to us, you are the breath of God.
Yes.
When you leave these bodies, that breath comes out and follows you as the eternal essence of the universe. I want to see Him over and over again. And I surrendered when I said this to God, and I'm talking to Him now. It's impossible for you to talk to me without talking to Him because we are each other's eternal self.
If when we have in our relationships, if we don't take a position, this is the way I see it, this is the way it has to be, then no judgment occurs. If there's no judgment, there will be no offense. And if there's no offense, there will be no need for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Most of us haven't gotten there in every instance. We need that tool of forgiveness because we have not yet learned to suspend our judgments. When we have gotten to the place where we no longer hold a judgment or an opinion, a set opinion about another person, there will be no need for that tool any longer.
Let me bless you with the announcement of a gift that some of us seem to slip out of. You're going to always be or see hatred, unforgiveness, bitterness,
You will.
anger, and
You'll
resentment.
see it. Yes, you'll
Okay.
see it.
Now, watch this. I used to think that I could get rid of all of that. And the more I prayed and more I sought God and went to church and talked to people, and every time I did something, I come home and get at the end of the bed when I was starting out and point out all those sins. I didn't know until I met you guys in the course, and Bill and
Lisa.
Lisa and some
Bill
of you.
Free and Lisa Natoli.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then we got hooked up with
Oliver and
Yolanda.
Yolanda.
Yeah. I understand what it means to observe these facts or these dark covers in our life.
These energies. Your negative energies.
Now, as I grow strong in awareness of this, all hell rages, but I know it's not coming from my pure self. It's not coming from the eternal essence. But as the eternal essence, I had to choose these bodies, or this body, or yours. See, now here's a mystery. Not only did I choose this one, I chose yours too, because I'm inside of all of you, and you all are inside of us, inside of each other.
Yeah.
We chose to be this way because we all want to be able to look at this thing for the dirt that it is and love the hell out of it by finding out that it is the mercy of God. Let me tell you something else. As much as we've seen bad and wrong in our minds and our bad thoughts, that would make any average person want to not have anything to do with you. But the real self of us is saying, I don't care if you are ugly as hell. I'm going to stay in here. I'm going to stay in this body until I get ready to leave it. You can be mean, cuss somebody out. Hey, when I was in school, I told you I used to set thumbtacks in the teacher's seat.
Well, I remember,
and still look at it.
And I don't want to keep harping on the fact of the homegoing of Johnny, but I remember Laverne giving in her talk about Johnny.
I heard about that.
She
and Laverne, if I had been there, what happened?
Right. But what was amazing, and what I've heard in other funerals as well, is the things that really bug you about that person end up being one of the most comical memories that you hold about them, that brings you a joy. And she gave us stories and all of the things that normally in a married couple it would make you mad, but then they become the best parts. They become the things that bug you most, become the best parts, the most memorable parts. And so there is no evil. It is just people who are asleep at the moment. And so I'm going to read some of these comments because we could talk about this forever. Linda says only the ego holds a grudge, and that's exactly right, sweetheart.
But you can tell the reason why you can say that now, Miss Linda, because you can see it as a detachment, as the observer of it.
Yeah, and you're not lost in the ego, and that's why
you're not mad at it. You're not saying I'm going to have to knock the fire out of it. No, you have compassion for that.
Yes, even if there is a grudge present,
I feel that.
The awareness that you have, that it's the ego itself that is doing that, you realize you're not lost in it.
That's right.
Jill says that Noel mentions that everyone is on a heading journal. I'm not sure what that means. On a heading journal. That helps me when interacting with others. Can you explain a little bit about what the heading journal is, honey? Let me know what that is. And then Norman says reunion, reunite, unite again. Yes. And Jill said her internet is acting up. Yeah. So you guys, thank you for your comments. Thank you so much for your comments. Is our time gone yet?
Yeah,
our time is gone, just about gone, isn't it? Wow.
We want to thank you all for the prayers and affirming your life. You are the prayer life. You are the life of prayer without even getting on your knees.
You know, I wanted to just say this before we go off. When in relationships, if you take a position, that's like that's where you take a stand.
Mm-hmm.
When you take a stance, it
Mm-hmm.
requires a degree of rigidity. You have to be rigid in an area to stand.
Mm-hmm.
And that being rigid
Excuse me.
and not flexible is what ruins most relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It ruins the relationships and causes people to not be able to work through their differences.
Yeah, and you are a living epistle. I call it, you a living pistol. You're a living pistol. You stay loaded all the time to see, to look
Mhm,
through
mhm, mhm,
the ugliness
mhm,
of the ego judgments. Now you know who you are.
mhm.
Let's move on into the depthness.
Yes.
Go deep, deep, deep into the eons of the light of God that you are, and allow your light being itself to fully consciousness itself.
Mm,
Mm. Let
mm,
it fully aware of
mm.
itself that in the spite of dust and storm, you cannot shut your eternal self down. It's no
Yes,
switches in
yes,
there that can cut
yes.
off the real you. I hear people say all the time, "Oh, oh, I don't know how to be anything but myself." I listen to that. If you only found out that part of you that's flipping his lip now, if you only found out that that part of you is older than dirt that it lives in,
Mhm,
and yet there is no age,
mhm,
there is no bitterness,
mhm.
there is no hate in you,
Exactly.
there is no remorse, no slack and get back jack, no running to fall on your knees to repent. You are God's eternal repentance. Every time you breathe in and breathe out, you experiencing the life, tangible substance of something that was hoped for but is now made known.
I heard Eckhart Tolle say this. He says, "Don't measure how long you remain in that awakening and that behavior of what we call an awakened being. Don't try to walk around holding that state." He said, "Look at how often you get out of it and you find yourself moving back into it. How often do you catch yourself as an ego and
Mm-hmm.
then move out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Do that instead of trying to be that way all day.
Mm-hmm.
When you notice the ego, you notice something that you know is an egotistical mindset or behavior, then move out of it quickly. And notice how many times during, or not how many, but how
Mm-hmm.
often, how frequently, how
Mm-hmm.
quickly can you move out of it?
I'm telling you, it's
Yeah,
something.
that's more important than
Yeah,
I can do this all day, you
yeah.
know?
Thank you again for tuning in to us, all of you.
Yes.
And we're not going anywhere. We just be out of each other's sight physically, but our heart is beating the same rhythm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I love to know how in the world that you guys fix this thing like this for us to meet each other in different parts of the world. Never heard of you, never known you, but all of a sudden we can talk to you through this broadcast
Mm-hmm.
and the computer. I never thought I'd be on. All this stuff is a miracle to us. I never thought we'd be online talking to people about eternal selves and the true heart and the
Right,
pureness of God.
right, right.
The red, yellow, orange, gold, and blue fire is burning in the heart of all of us. I can
Yes.
feel the intensity of God's heat and compassion in every one of you. I'm going to keep on looking for it.
Yeah. I want to encourage you guys to give. I
Thank you.
know I want to ask this question. When was the last time that you gave for this broadcast? And I want you to do the from your heart, send an offering from your heart to Cornerstone. And you can do that any way you choose as by going to the website That's thecornerstonelifecenter.com, or you can text CLC Greensboro to 73256 or paypal.me/cornerstone35. And if you don't want to do it that way, or you don't have the means to do it that way, you can always mail it to P.O. Box 36259, Greensboro, North Carolina 27416. And to bless pastors and myself, you can go to Cash App $A Sawyer C, paypal.me/ACE Sawyer 72. Either way will work just fine. John Greason says, thank you, pastors, for being the tools of our Father.
Yes.
Thank you, John Greason.
Bless you, John. John Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel like I just
Yes.
want to grab you in all the arms of God and just squeeze the duck butter out of all of y'all.
Yeah, I know. We're feeling so much love. We're feeling so much
and
love.
you guys have done great jobs in doing it too. Miss Shelley, Miss Kelly. Oh, thank you so much.
Linda Langdon. She
Langdon?
said she heard Neville saying, that's Neville Goddard, by the way. He has a whole bunch of books out. He's no longer in this in the earth existence, but his books are very, very prevalent.
Right.
And he says Jesus Christ is a plan and not a man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All righty.
Thank you. I look forward to talking to you again
about
these eternal truths.
Yeah. And we'll be back. Pastor Norman, you will be with us on Thursday, I assume, at 12:30 for impromptu, for those of you who can make it. And if you can't make it, we'll definitely be back on Sunday at 10 a.m. live and in color.
I look forward to seeing you and Miss Norman again soon.
Mm-hmm.
We enjoyed both of you.
And baby girl was good tonight. Yeah. She was good. She didn't even finish all her treats. Look at that. Wow. She was good. Good tonight.
You guys hold it in the road, tied down on both sides.
We'll see you next time.
And work it in the middle. Talk to you Thursday afternoon.
Thursday afternoon. Yeah. At 12:30.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.